This is a wonderful city. If you start talking about its beauty or its purity, time won't be enough. If you want to talk about its mysterious and magical history, you won't find enough words. This city is the home of brave men, the city of great hearts, thinkers and geniuses. It's also a yearning, a grief, it's a city of love. After all, one cannot help loving it, admiring it, missing it. This is our city of destiny. This is our Shusha. After the death of Iranian ruler Nadir Shah in 1747, the territories of Azerbaijan located in the South Caucasus were divided among more than 20 khanates. At that time, Panakhali Khan Javanshir was the head of the Karabakh Khanate. Before arriving in Shusha, Panakhali Khan built the Bayat and Shahbulag fortresses in different parts of Karabakh. In 1752, he began the construction of a new fortified city, Shusha, among sheer cliffs and mountains. Soon the city grew and became a major center of science, culture, and trade with 17 quarters, 17 mosques, and 17 fountains. After the death of Panakhali Khan, during the reign of his son Ibrahim Khan, who succeeded him on the throne, the fortress walls of the city grew and were expanded, and the influence of Khanate increased. But all this could not protect him, Ibrahim Khan, his family, and the Karabakh Khanate as a whole from future tragedies. All Khanates except Karabakh were formed around the built cities, but the Karabakh Khanate was an exception. The Karabakh Khanate actually arose on dry land. It did not form around a ready-made city. After the establishment of this Khanate, a large city like Kabirli, then Shahbulag, and then Shusha was built, which had a very important role in the history, culture, and worldview of Azerbaijan. Apart from this, if every other Khanate were created by people who ruled the place and were ordered to be governed by Safavid kings, the Karabakh Khanate was established by Panakhali Khan of Sarajali and his surroundings, who stood out from others by bravery, courage, honesty, and faith. From this point of view, the Karabakh Khanate occupies an important place in the history of Azerbaijan, so Tsarism paid special attention to the invasion of this territory. The Russian Empire, which was striving for the Caucasus by various means since the 17th century, set as its goal the occupation of the Azerbaijani Khanates. After the occupation of Derbent, the historical city of Azerbaijan, by Russian troops, the occupation of the Ganja Khanate testified that this policy would be continued for many years. The ruler of Ganja, Javad Khan, who opposed the Russian troops with weapons in his hands, was martyred together with his son after heavy fighting in early 1804. The next target of the Russian invaders was the Karabakh Khanate. In May 1805, soon after the Treaty of Kurekchay concluded between Sisyanov and the commander of Russian troops in the Caucasus and Ibrahim Khan of Karabakh, an unprecedented massacre was carried out. Ibrahim Khan and his family were killed in his residence in Kankendi by Russian officers and soldiers led by Lisanovich. But after a while, Sisyanov, who attacked the Baku Khanate, was killed right at the fortress walls of Baku, and General Lisanovich, who killed Ibrahim Khan, was killed in Dagestan. But despite the bloody clashes and strong resistance, the Azerbaijani Khanates, small Azerbaijani states, were occupied by the Russian colonial troops. This invasion continued until the fall of Tsarism and the proclamation of the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic in 1918. The government of Azerbaijan Democratic Republic, which independence was unconditionally recognized in Versailles Conference in 1919-1920 by the US, and most countries was occupied by the Soviet Russia in April 1920 for the second time. In 1923, under the pressure of the Russian government that made divide and rule policy their slogan, the so-called Nagorno-Karabakh Autonomous Oblast was established in the mountainous part of the Karabakh, which was an inseparable part of Azerbaijan. This led to the rise of separatism and strong nationalistic tendencies in the following 80s, bloody clashes and many losses. Armenians made several attempts to unite this province to Armenia. In 1989-1992, the freedom struggle of our people and its leading political leaders to completely distance themselves from the USSR, from the Eastern Empire, and establish direct and free relations with Europe and the world was a great threat to the USSR. In order to protect this reputation, Russia committed one after another brutal, unprecedented massacres against our people. However, the people of Azerbaijan were not afraid of this genocide. Even when their lands were invaded one after another and given to Armenians, they didn't lose their faith. Subsequently, 20% of territories of the Republic of Azerbaijan, which declared its independence again in 1991, was occupied by Armenia through direct involvement of the Russian army. From time to time, they lived with the ambition of igniting this process and create their own autonomous states. As a result, when the Soviet Union collapsed in the late 1980s, this process was somewhat fooled by Russia, again according to the essence of Russian foreign policy. This resulted in a new war in the territory of Karabakh. This war ended with the fact that the separatist forces created in Karabakh, together with the Armenians and Armenian military units, occupied these territories, which Azerbaijan gave autonomy to the Armenians in the 20s. Not only these areas, but at the same time, they occupied 7 of our regions that do not belong to this autonomy. The occupation, which lasted for 30 years, despite 4 UN Security Council resolutions and the efforts of the European Union, was ended by Azerbaijani troops on November 8, 2020. That day, the warriors of the victorious army, passing through impenetrable valleys and mountains, did the impossible. They liberated Shusha and returned what belonged to us. It could be likened only to the reunion of the soul with the body after many years. From now on, no one will be able to separate that soul from the body. We, as well as Karabakh and Shusha, will not forget those who signed the declaration, those who gave us this unity, integrity, those who gave us this joy and happiness. In 1918-1920, the first ambassador of the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic to Turkey, or famous writer Yusuf Vazir Chamanzaminli, originally from Shusha, Karabakh, wrote in those years recalling the turbulent history of this native country. Imagine a city on top of a mountain, covered in greenery in summer and spring, and mist and snow in autumn and winter. This is my city. Every point of the city tells a story. Grotto of Ibrahim Khan, Grotto of Malik Shahnazar, Shahnishin, Cıdır Düzü, Dav Talep, Divankhana, Topkhana. Each is a book, a bloody and terrible page. I was also born in this adventurous city. This is my destiny. There are many people who, like Yusuf Vezir, were born in Shusha and had the same fate. Among them were Uzeyr Hacıbey, Natavan Khan's daughter, Bulbul, Nawwab, Mehmandarov, Ağaoğlu, Vazirov, Vagif, whose houses, property and graves were destroyed during the 30-year occupation, whose busts were shot and statues were destroyed.
Azərbaycan hakimiyyəti öz torpaqlarını və BMT-nin Birləşmiş Millətlər Təşkilatının erməni hərbi birləşmələrinin Azərbaycan torpaqlarını
Azerbaijan government undertook the implementation of 4 resolutions of the UN and the immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian military units from the territory of Azerbaijan. In September 2020, as a result of the 44-day war, Azerbaijan liberated its lands from occupation, including Shusha, the cultural capital of Azerbaijan. Today, the government of Azerbaijan spends millions and restores hundreds of destroyed areas, as well as Shusha, which is the cradle of our culture.
Şuşanın bərpasını həyata keçirməyə başlayıb.
Immediately after 44-day patriotic war, which ended in victory, the reconstruction and revival of Shusha began with those busts, destroyed tombs, mosques, estates. Because this city, this country, this land, which is called the Conservatory of the Caucasus and is one of the pillars of Azerbaijan's spirituality, is also famous for its great personalities, geniuses who always defended their religion and faith.
Qarabağ bizimdir, Qarabağ Azərbaycandır.